Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, everybody? It's me. I'm here. I'm chilling. I'm having a grand old day. I'm having a lovely time because I am here to present you with the funniest category of all time. We've got Tails' story, which is pretty cool in its own right, and not only that, we've got the funky Dreamcast. You know, everybody loves a bit of Dreamcast lately. Everybody's hopping on that, and it's pretty cool, if I do say so myself. But not only do we have funny Tales, funny Dreamcast, we got the coolest mod slash cheat code of all time. We got the cutscene cut, which is really funny. Like, really, really funny. It's pretty funny. You'll see how funny it is. Because Dreamcast, traditionally known for being the speedrun where you sit down and watch cutscenes, not so in this case. This is a little bit funkier, you know? In this case, we've got a button that kills you when you press it in the cutscene. And so, you've probably seen Witherman do this earlier in the marathon with Sonic's story, but I'm here to show off the other guy, the other little guy. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into this. One practice run this morning was all I needed. Let's get it moving. Okay, gamers, so we'll be starting on the fade out, so let's get things moving. Do a little flip, and here we go. Timer begins now. And what you'll see happen here is we'll load in, I'll push the start button. I forgot to turn on the cheat. Let me turn that on real quick, because that's what I gotta do. And yeah, so then I press the start button, and funky stuff happens. The cutscene is skipped, because for all intents and purposes, Tails has died. And this is the funniest one of all. Nobody really understands it, but apparently that happens when you skip that one. So, yeah, we're not seeing anything like Jerry, or Jimmy, rather I should say, in Sonic's story, where we fight Chaos Zero twice. You know, no early cutscene, no early boss fights for good old Tails' story, but we are going to go and get the jet anklets here, as we do normally in every Tails story run. Gotta make sure I come up here on the right sort of trajectory right now. I'm having a bit of a funky time. Pick up these jet anklets, and we move, and I think we want to, like, give it a second, and then skip. And then look at that! It's basically cheating, because we're back outside already, and we can go straight to the cutscene. To the train station, rather. One funky thing about CX, though, which is kind of weird. I'm not sure why this happens. Let me bring this camera down a little bit so you can see a little bit more of my face. I'm not sure why this happens, but for some reason, the music's just gone. Sometimes. And I've never quite understood why. But here we go. Egghorn time. You can also see my washing basket in the background. That's a staple at this point. Now, free cycle, or one cycle, is notoriously difficult enough as is. On Dreamcast, it's going to be funky, but we'll see if we can pull it off. If I can get two cycle, I'll be happy. And if I get free cycle, I'm not going to be gutted. Ah, two cycle. That's fine. Yeah, I am playing this on emulator, which would be why the game looks a little bit more snazzy. A little bit chillier. And yeah, no, so that's also why I've got the VMU in the top left corner of the screen. Gotta just have it visible. And I've also got the frame rate in the bottom left. These are the requirements. Dreamcast has come a long way in the last few months. I don't know. It's long gone. But now we wait. We still got to cope with Dreamcast loads. At least in a way. Not quite to the same extreme as we would on console. Emulator does relieve that a little bit. But yeah, it really is kind of cool how everything possible has been done to make Dreamcast more and more fun to play. You know? Without, you know, really straying too far away from Dreamcast, we still keep all the fun, but we don't gotta worry too much about the stuff, you know? The fun is there, but the stuff is not. Speaking of fun, here comes Windy Valley. Windy Valley, Tails story, same case wherever we are. Dreamcast, PC, we always just do the fall, and then we do a little bit of this. And now we're going to be moving our way over to the end of the stage, which should be right around here somewhere. There it is. Piece of piss, as they say, you know? We'll see what happens during Sky Chase. Anything could happen, really. And with that, I actually do need to start splitting because... Oh. We got Tails' funny jump sound effect, because we are playing in Japanese. And now here we go. We're off to Casino, where I'm going to do a trick which I only learned existed the other day watching a bingo match. And I've only performed for the first time this morning, but I'm going to try and show you all. In Casino, normally on Dreamcast, well, in Casino normally on PC we have the two clips. We have the vent clip at the start, and then we have the fan room clip. Neither of those work. At least at the very least, the vent clip does not work. I haven't actually looked too much into the fan one, but uh-oh. That's not what we want. So let's just die. The idea with this trick, as it's been so beautifully dubbed by... I'm not sure who named it, but I saw Witherman perform this recently. Penis Smasher is the name of the trick. It's pretty funny. But we wait for Sonic to go by, and we want to just get ourselves somewhere right around here. I'll have to exactly line it up. Come on now. The penis won't be smashed. At least not yet, but it will. It will. We just gotta bide our time is all. There we go. Look at that. Completely eradicated. We're out of bounds. And Chaos Emerald is ours. Yeah, as usual, we gotta love the SADX or Sonic Adventure community naming conventions. Always go very, very hard. So yeah, just skipping more cutscenes here. It really is interesting because there's obviously still a place, especially given how much time and effort has been put into figuring out all the cutscene skips with Dreamcast. But it is kind of nice that we have this alternative that kind of lets you focus on the main sort of gameplay of the run. Not that the, vanilla Dreamcast categories aren't cool. We've been seeing people like Witherman and Squeefy earlier really putting in a lot of effort. Really, really cool stuff. But, yeah, I like this. I like this being here. Pretty neato. Now here comes Ice Cap, which is the stage, which, sadly on Dreamcast, we ain't got too much going on. As far as I'm aware, at least, we ain't got no clips. We ain't got no funky stuff. But we do have the super jumps, at least. But also, Ice Key Skip simply doesn't work on Dreamcast for Tails. So we gotta collect it like we did back in the old days. And now we just kind of wait. Fly on in. And yeah, here we go. So with Ice Cap, looks a lot more blue on Dreamcast is what I'll say. Used to seeing this just be completely white, pretty flat textures, but everything looks a lot nicer on Dreamcast. And I have actually also raised the internal resolution a little bit, which, it's funky. I don't know why I didn't hit that speed pad. I've still got the PC pill firmly in my system. So I was thinking, yeah, I'll go for the clip, but I am 99% sure it just simply does not exist on Dreamcast. Uh-oh. And Dreamcast got a little bit of funk, I was struggling with this one earlier, but let's see if we can pull this off. Oh! Ah! Shit. But it's okay. Because we're never down for too long. We're always moving, we're always cruising, we're always doing a lot of things. Until we finish the stage, at that point the run kind of we kind of just chill for a bit. But, I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, you know? We just had Squeefy doing a 130 emblems for 9 hours. So, you know, we like chilling around here. Big GG's to him on that for coming away with the sub 9. And let's see if we can nail this super jump. I swear they are harder on Dreamcast, but still coming away looking pretty decent right now. And now here comes the fun part, eh? You know, we got Knuckles, we got Chaos 4, and we got Sky Chase. Still never gonna get that right. But Drywall, you don't like the Ice Room on Dreamcast? I don't understand why. What's wrong with it? It's all glowy and weird, you know? It's pretty cool. The thing I like on Dreamcast the most is that Tails' flying animation is actually correct. He doesn't just have a bunch of tails, he just has... Oh, I got punched in the face. He has the, like, funny translucent tails, or... Oh, I'm getting fucking rumbled by Knuckles. A little bit metallic. Now here we go, Chaos 4 time. Everybody's favourite. I actually got blue balls on the first hit with this earlier, which was something I didn't know was possible. So we're gonna hope that doesn't happen again. There we go. As long as we get into the air nice and quick, we're mostly okay. So we wait for that 1, 2, 3, and then Chaos bobs his head up into the air for us all to see. You really shouldn't get blue balls as Tails in any Chaos 4 fight, but I've noticed it happen to me on Dreamcast more than anywhere else. It seems to be a little bit of a tight window at the start that you've just kind of got to be aware of, and then you're mostly going to be okay. But yeah, no, it's definitely funky. I use that word a lot with Dreamcast because it is probably the best word I can use to describe it. But it's just funky, you know. It's like such a parallel world as opposed to everything that we know from SADX and everything that we see normally. So it's so cool, really. And big shout-outs to everybody who's put in a lot of time to it over the recent months. Witherman, Squeefy, Hib, Nim, whole crew, anybody at all doing any tiny bit of science because they've changed the game, quite literally. And there we go. Chaos 4 is down. Thank you, Spacebar. Now, unfortunately, here comes the one cutscene in the run which we can't skip. Well, actually, one of two. These pre-rendered scenes, we're just not able to skip for some reason. And I guess basically the reason for that being is that the code, what it does is it kills your character during the cutscene, because it's still technically in-game, but these pre-rendered clips, your character ain't nowhere to be seen during this, so there's no way to kill yourself with a segment of the game where there is no character. But this, press the start button, boom. We unlock Knuckles, and now, off we go. Everybody's favourite part. Your friend and mine, Sky Chase Act 1. And I have no idea what to do, so I'm just going to talk to you all. How's your day going? You know, how you feeling? Hope you're doing well. Because I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time, I should say. Let me move my plane a little bit so I don't die. I'm having a pretty good day. I woke up at, like, 9 AM, and I just decided I don't want to do that. So I stayed in bed for a little bit longer. And that turned out to be like 2 more hours. I woke up and I got out of bed at 11 AM. And then what did I do? My room was kind of a mess. So I figured, you know what, I'll clean my room. I'll do that, I'll tidy up. And I did just that. So, you know, feeling good. Feeling good about living in a fresh environment. Then, what did I do then? I did nothing for like 3 hours. So that was pretty cool. But then, I got a message from my good friend Cryptic, saying that local British man, Squeefy, has just finished up his 130 run, and we're apparently meant to be going on comms early. But I was like, bruh, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for this at all. You know, I'm going to Tesco. I planned my Tesco visit, and I'm gonna do it. And so I did that. I went to Tesco, drove around to the local Tesco, which is one of the few shops which stays open on a Sunday. And what did I get? I got a Monster Rosa. Pretty good. About halfway through that now, maybe a little bit over halfway. And I got a 6-pack of Coca-Cola. Pretty good. And I was like, alright, great, I'm ready. I come back home, and it turns out my mum has actually also gone to the shop, and she's come back with a gift for me, because she's like, yo, I got you Ultra Watermelon Monster. I'm like, okay, mum, thanks, cheers. That's nice of you. And she also got me a 6-pack of Coke. And I'm like, okay, cool. And she's like, no, you've already got your Coke. You can't have this Coke anymore. And I'm like, fuck. So that was good. And I come upstairs, Knuckles and Spacebar are racing Knuckles and Spacebar? Cryptic and Spacebar. You know? They were racing Knuckles. And I'm like, alright, let's go. Let's get it. But it looks like it's about time for the game to start going again, so we'll get things moving. See if I can chug the rest of this monster. And give me strength before we go into Sandhill. Now here we go. Really interesting, actually, how with these cutscenes, they are just actually playing out in-game, and you kind of see... One of the more funny examples we'll see actually right after... what's it called? After Sandhill. Because when we go to the Sky Chase Act 2 cutscene, what we'll be seeing there is pretty funny. Because that takes place in Red Mountain. And Red Mountain is not a Tails stage, but but we do get a little snippet of Tails just vibing in there. And I don't believe that there is any Sandhill clip-ins on here on Dreamcast, so we're just going to be waiting for our chance to fall on through the sand hole now. And now here we go. We get to jam along to the funk. I definitely find Dreamcast snowboarding to be a little bit weirder to handle, for lack of a better term. Like, I just, you know, see? Something about it just seems funny, and that's kind of the case for Dreamcast as a whole, as opposed to regular SADX, or just SADX as a whole, I suppose. There's definitely something going on, whether it's just the frame rate, or whether it's just, you know, maybe it could just be a big placebo. But it definitely sort of funks around a little bit. And there we go, look at that, I got a nice little speed boost there. Sandhill coming in clutch. I made a big mistake! I made a big mistake! Oops. That's gonna lose me some time. Basically, that's the one cutscene in this run which you don't want to skip. If you skip that cutscene, for whatever reason, you have to play a second Sandhill. So here we go. It's so nice. I had to do it twice. There you go. I actually don't know what happens if I skip it again. Yo, it's Mikey. I love that guy. I guess nothing. I guess that just was the cutscene. Well, there you go. Do it without the analog stick this time. I don't know if I've got the time on estimate for that. I'm not gonna lie. Let's fly on over and see Takal. Whoa, what the... You saw that, right? That wasn't just me. Alright, and now for the fun time. So we just finished up we just finished up Skydeck 1, we do a little sky chase. And now, this is the funniest part of the run. For me personally, because, again, Red Mountain, not a sales stage, but we have a cutscene in Red Mountain. If I press start, there we are. Just Tails chilling next to the capsule. Doesn't explain why or how, but here we go. What are we thinking we do for Sky Chase Act 2? There's not really a lot more to talk about in my day. You know? Why don't you tell me about your day? What happened to you? What happened to you today? Did you have a good day? Your day going well? You seen any shit? You experienced life? You gone out there and lived your dreams? I haven't. I've sat here. Chilling. But you know what? That's me living my dream. And if that's what I want to do, then I think you can live your dream too. Whatever it may be. Whatever it may involve, or contemplate, or involve. I think I said involve twice. Don't worry about it. The point is, whatever your dream may be, no matter how big or small, just do it, innit? You know? I dream about sitting in front of a computer, watching a plane. I don't control the plane, I don't touch it. I don't do anything with my controller. You know? I just sit here, drink in my hand, chilling. This is my dream come true. The game speedruns itself. I don't have to worry. I don't have to, you know, I don't have to think. I don't have to breathe much, at the very least. All I have to do is sit here and watch the hedgehog and the fox fly around. I bide my time. I just chill. I could do whatever I want. I could go anywhere for the next minute or so. And I can come right back here and know that the game's waiting for me, you know? I have a diagonal ceiling because I live in a loft conversion, you know? This ceiling, this room, used to be an attic, and now it's my room, so I live here now. You're probably also curious about the punching bag. So what I would say to that is... we got a lot of stuff going on, you know? Never really predicted. Hello. But we're jamming out here right now, you know, we'll come up towards the latter stage of the run. We got a Skydeck on the horizon, we got a Gamma on the horizon, we got a Speed Highway on the horizon, and are there any interesting clips you can do in my room? No. Anyway. Here we go. Same old usual stuff in Skydeck. Sky Chase. Fuck, I don't think I've gotten it right once today. Well, here we go. Skydeck up next. And much the same as it is in SADX usually, really. But we're gonna actually see... I tell you what, I'm gonna show off something kind of funny, actually. So here we go. Fly on over to the usual position where we get the Skydeck the egg carrier transformation. Everything's fucking Skydeck. Basically, no matter how hard you try, you cannot skip this cutscene. I will keep trying until my thumbs give out, but I cannot skip the egg carrier transformation cutscene. This thing is relentless. It will never, ever be skippable in any capacity whatsoever. Not even fast SADX lets you skip this cutscene. You can try and try and try, but it ain't ever gonna happen. Uh-oh. Oh! I'm not sure what happened there. It was going pretty well. I got the stick to the ground and everything. I got the jump. There you go. And again. Hey, look at that. This is quite sad. You know what? It's okay. I think we can bring it back. Now, if I'm not wrong, I think the world record on emulator right now is set by a man who was meant to be commentating here with me today, but unfortunately could not make it, Mr. Venom. But, you know, hope he's doing well. Hope he's having a good day. But yeah, currently the world record for this category is... I'm looking at the regular old tale story. I want cutscene cut on the cat exports. Where are we going? Yeah, it's 28 minutes, actually. 28 minutes flat, so it's not impossible that we could come away with it. Might have to put in a little bit of a madness. But I mean, hey, who knows, you know? Oh shit, Gamma's moving mad. I'll see what can happen, you know? We can't skip this cutscene. That's another pre-rendered one. There we go. We're not going to do the gravity glitch in Speed Highway because it just doesn't seem to like me on Dreamcast. I'm not sure why, but it just does not seem to like me. I think it's possible. You can definitely skew your gravity. I'm not sure exactly how far you can push it. I can't remember whether I've actually pulled it off all the way or not, but gravity glitch on Dreamcast is definitely harder than it is on PC, that much is for sure. Okay. And so all that stands between us and glory is Skydeck. Well, let's see. See what we can do here. The whistle strat does work still, same way as it does on PC. So it's very interesting that that was not just like a Dreamcast, not just a SADX thing or like anything that they just kind of like had in there, and it kind of bled in. It's just there in every version of the game, which is so interesting to me. Okay, that... I don't know if that's world record or not. I really don't. But that is basically tied to Venom with the world record. So, let's go. I mean, this category is not optimized, but we basically played within a second of the world record at the very least. So, hey, look at that. I actually kind of gave it a go with Eggwalker at the end there. But hey, yeah, you know, there you go. Pretty fun. That's going to be 2 runs on the board for Emulator Cutscene Cut. Yeah, 5 minutes ahead of estimate. That's not bad at all. But we're chilling. We're grooving. Pretty funny. Let's retime that. Let's see if that is technically a world record. Could be funny. If it is, then it's very easily beaten. So, you know, we'll come back to this. We'll see more of this, I'm sure. Tails Cutscene Cut, Tails Emulator. Very, very cool. With 2 sandhills as well. Yeah, no, there's room for optimization here. A lot of it as well. So, yeah, if you like the look of Tails Story, if you like the look of Cutscene Cut, if you like the look of Dreamcast, anything that you see in here, by all means, give it a go. You know, it's kind of nice that this has kind of been a good opportunity to show off 3 different things, really. You know, Tails Story, which I like a lot, which I love a lot, really. Dreamcast, which has been really doing a lot well recently. And Cutscene Cut, which is a really, really cool new way to enjoy these, this side of Sonic Adventure, you know? It's a really, really cool one. Well, if you can't commentate, perhaps I'll take your world record. There you go. Have that, you know? Miss a commentary now, dickhead. Huh? Huh? No, I'm sure whatever you got going on is important, and I hope all is good. But fuck you, dickhead. But yeah, no. I hope all is well. Anyway, that'll be all from me. I'll sign off for that. Look forward to whatever is coming up next. Let me check that schedule for all of you here, because we still got some stuff to go, despite us coming into the final few hours of the marathon now. What is up next? We've got Stelmo back on the scene, the Sonic Project 06 champion himself. And he's going to be running Shadow in Project 06. Now that is going to be a good one. That is going to be an absolute banger. So don't go anywhere, because that's right up next. I'll sign off now. That'll be all from me. And yeah, take care, gamers. Take it easy, and enjoy the rest of the marathon. Thank you all so much for chilling here with me for this. Have a good rest of your day, gamers. Bye-bye.